There we go. The door is finally open. That took a while. And I only bent it a little bit. But there we go.
Hey everyone. Unfortunately, you have just signed up to watch a very long video because I have a lot of stuff that I'm going to be talking about and going to be trying today. I will try and talk as quickly as I can to get through all of this. So the reverse diet update. I am in week 3. My weight is actually down from where I started the diet. I lost 4 pounds the first week, gained 0.6 the next week, and this week I've been hovering between being steady and going up a pound, back and forth. So this morning I weighed in at 235, which is not too bad for 3 weeks, and I'm up about 170 calories per day. I've also cut out pop completely except for when I am going out to the movies, which only at maximum happens once per week. So that has been a huge change. I am really cleaning up the diet. I've made a lot of changes to my supplementation. I've done a lot of research. So my protein shakes, I have gone from a heavily processed, filled with artificial sweeteners and stuff, to a shake from the Good Stuff company, which only has whey concentrate and sunflower lecithin, I think is how you say it, which are both natural. The lecithin, a little bit processed, but it's only those two things. So no flavoring, nothing. For my flavoring, I am using pure cocoa extract, which has no sugar or anything added to it. And then I'm actually using sugar, which, may not be healthy. But one of the things that I've done through this process is I am taking my added sugar intake down below what the recommended maximum is. So for those of you who don't know, because I had to look up what this thing even means, added sugar is sugar that's added basically for flavoring, so it's not part of the food. So if you eat fruit, it has sugar in it, but that's part of the fruit. I guess if you take a strawberry and you cover it in chocolate and sprinkle sugar on it, that's added sugar, but anything in the food is not considered added. So there are different guidelines for women and men on how much is the maximum recommended. I've always been really high. So before I cut my pop intake down to 1 a day, I was averaging over 200 grams of sugar per day, which I'm very thankful I did not develop diabetes, and I 100% think it's because of lifting. If you have not read anything about lifting, if you do a lot of exercise with weights where you're increasing muscle mass, it actually improves your insulin sensitivity, so it lowers the chance you're going to develop diabetes. It doesn't work with cardio and things of that nature. It's actually because of the increased muscle demands. It kind of fights for the insulin and the sugar. I'm not a scientist, I just read a bunch of stuff. So that is the first big change that I've done, and I'm really trying to eat, instead of for pleasure, eat for performance. So the entire goal of this entire diet process for me was to get to a lower weight for competing in strongman, because I'm not going to be competitive as a heavyweight, and I've got a lot of excess fat, which does not help me with movements. It doesn't help me with strength. It's just really a burden. Unfortunately, I did not get down to 231.5, but at this point, I am 1 water weight cut away from making 231.5, so I'm not too worried about that. Right now, its strength needs to be built back up. So my pressing's way down, my deadlift's terrible, everything has changed. My leverages are different. I have lost 6.5 inches off of the belly measurement, so the circumference around my midline, and that's a big change. So I've had to go back to my old belt that Glenn's been using for a long time, and when I bought that, I was in the last hole because I measured it incorrectly, and then I had to drill a hole shortly after getting it. I am actually fitting into the 4th hole in. So that's how different it is. So the squats feel different. I have to relearn depth. The deadlift, the setup and everything's very different. And because of the poor decisions I made on dieting, I think I've lost quite a bit of muscle mass in my arms. That all needs to be built back up. So yeah, that's basically where we're at. I woke up today with a ridiculous amount of energy and need to do some lifting. So we're going to open some boxes and then we are going to start lifting.
Go.
You're acting like a waiting already going.
Oh.
Like I want to sit here and wait to open the packages. Alright, so this first thing is something I want to start training, and you don't see it done a whole lot. And this is a neck harness. So it just goes around your head like that. You strap it on based on the size of your noggin. That's really stiff right now. And then you load up weights, so it's kind of like a dip belt. It's got the size to my huge head. And so the weight goes here, you just kind of pull it up, and you can do sideways, but then you can normally use a band, and you can go backwards too. But with this, it's really easy to hurt yourself because your neck muscles are not very big. And I feel like I'm really starting to get more, my head's wanting to stay down. I noticed it when I was doing curls the other day, like my head kept going this way. So I really want to train the ability to extend the neck. That was pretty cheap. So looking forward to trying that out. And then these are something, so my farmers, oh, well, dirty now, I'm playing with the door. These are the farmer handles that I bought from Titan. And I do not like Titan, but a couple people said nice things. So we only used this for a little bit of season last year. These guards are already bent. I was already upset with them because they're not big enough to protect your feet. So the whole point of having skids on the bottom should be two things: to protect the implement and so it won't squish your foot. But this will go right on your foot. You can see they're already bent. And the handles are knurled, which if you are going to be doing any sort of farmers, there's no knurling. I do like that the handle is adjustable, so you can go down here, and I do like the top load. But I really thought that these right here, that make it into a frame, would be really good. But this is already starting to bend. And this is just from sitting down like this, right? There's no real big movement, and all we've done is picks. But they would go on the rack, and you kind of see here it started scratching up. I went to use these, and it started scratching up my rack, which is no good. So that's what this is. It's nothing really fancy today in terms of the equipment. We got the axle delivered last week. I watched the previous video. Oh, okay. So these are some real arms right here. And I'm going to put a little bit of tape on there because it can still cause a little bit of wear and tear on the rack. But how this works is it just goes in the rack right there, fits on, and then this goes in. So you can see here, real nice support, and they've got a skid on there to protect your bar, which is really nice. And I believe this is the same stuff on the bottom of my skid. I might be wrong on that. But the reason I wanted this, I've been having a lot of problems with my lockout since we started coming back into training, and I'm trying to push the weights now in the reverse diet. And just need to do some lockout work. And it does have the holes so I can put the pins in and put bands on it. And that's what we're going to do a little bit of today. But I really like these. You can put it whatever height you want. If I want to squat outside of the rack, I can. The height on the rack, unfortunately, is just a little bit too short to be able to do any sort of overhead work. I can use a bar as long as I press perfectly straight. You can see there's not a whole lot of space between the collar and the rack. So if you push even slightly crooked or you're not standing in the exact center, your plate hits the top. Well, this allows us to press outside of the rack. You can squat and do various things like that. So they were kind of expensive, but I think that they're gonna be well worth the money. All right, the first thing that I'm going to do is give you a very brief preview of the current physique. Not shirtless, so you don't have to close your eyes. But This is the leanest I've been. And you still see the belly and the chest fat. So we're not lean by any means. But because we are out here playing early in the morning, you're going to get out all the toys that I haven't got to use in a while. So this is the grip shirt from Starting Strongman. I got this last year before I realized I wasn't going to be able to do any competitions. So I haven't got to play with it a whole lot. And as you can see, it's a little bit big now. I have to tuck that in. But these are really nice, and I wanted to try it with the log. It sticks the log right to it. These little grippers are really great for holding on to stuff. And we're gonna get into the bag of goodies. So I'm gonna try out 2 different shoes today. Knee sleeves. And you know what? I'm gonna grab both of these out. I haven't used these in a long time. So we're gonna do some log. But before we do the log, I always gotta warm up the shoulders. And I figured I'd show you guys this. I don't remember if I've done this. But this is Glenn and I's workout for warming up. Take a band. First thing you do, I believe these are called shoulder dislocates. So you just try to keep your arm as straight as you can. Go all the way around. Get them stretched out. Oof. And then you can choke it in a little bit if you're able. Do some band pull aparts. And I like doing them behind my head as well. Just really get a little bit of blood in there. Get the temperature up. Make sure you don't tear anything so you don't have to go through shoulder surgery like I did and then get a frozen shoulder and then be sad all the time. And a new thing that I'm going to start incorporating, I do 3 sets of those, but you don't need to see all that, is a little bit of rotation. And see, this right shoulder, that is pain right there. So you can see, I'm not even all the way up. Just gotta work on forcing that movement. This is not correct form, by the way. Just doing what we can. So this right here is going to be the new intro workout. Healthy energy. Live like a monkey. Belt test number 1. Oh, oof. Oof.
Complete fail.
Ow. Oh no.
Man down.
It's really hard right at the top.
Yeah. Go.
Yeah, I got a lot harder. Man, I like that.
Went higher than your.
That
Oh, the
lip
mat.
there.
Go. Push it. There you go.
There you go. Nice, go ahead, come on. Man, look at that speed. That was fast.
It was fast.
Glenn. Finish strong. Let's go. Here goes my phone. Nice. All right, Glenn, bring it back. There you go. All right, you're clear. Speed. How far is it?
Oh, I don't know. The black mailbox?
All right. You ready?
Mm-hmm. I meant the other black mailbox, but I'll be quiet. Go, baby!